We've had all the Clone Wars now. We've gone from when I got surprised at Comic-Con, learning about the last season, and now we've seen it. And I had emotions, Dave, I gotta tell you.
Well, good.
Just
so. That's my goal.
Because the final scene, I think, really kind of paid homage to the clones in a heartbreaking way, as they existed and died because of Palpatine. Kind of, you draw that line, and it was just really tragic, and it broke my heart because it kind of felt at the end. You're like, oh, like what? Not that it's been pointless, but for these clones, right? So, why was it important to you to show kind of that tragedy of their existence at the very end there?
I think that for me, this scene is a tragedy, but you have two characters showing a tremendous amount of respect to them. And I had a very different situation to deal with than the movie Revenge of the Sith, because I had a generation of kids that grew up watching the clones as heroes, that love Rex and Cody and Gree, Fives, Echo, Tech. You go on down the list, and they have a real relationship with those characters as their friends and heroes. And so the idea that Ahsoka could be just very blunt about things and say, well, now they're trying to kill me, so I should cut them down, doesn't really work for me. It's about not compromising her value of who she is. And for these clones, it's about understanding that, they are in a situation where they don't have free will. They do this, and I try through every method possible, visually, musically, color-wise, to show that they became somebody else. And it's a bit of a danger. The going sentiment in the Republic is that they ended up at war and their civilization was threatened because they were weak. They didn't have a standing army. The Jedi get framed, of course, for starting an army, but one thing that the people largely come out of it thinking is that the Republic needs to work from strength, and that's why democracy dies with thunderous applause, and they all elect an emperor who they think will control them and keep them safe. So the clones, are seen as people that are putting down an uprising by many people in the Republic. The Jedi are, basically accused of staging a coup. Luckily, that part of the story was told by George. So I also had to consider when writing those episodes, there's, what George did, and that's, the truth of it all. And I'm not trying to change anything of that. I'm trying to highlight certain things and kind of bring not a different light, but show things from the point of view of different characters while maintaining the film, which I love very much, obviously. And I had to tell the personal story of these clones. It was one of the editors brought up that Rex and Jesse know each other really well. They've been in this series the whole time, and that's why we added really late that line where Rex makes a personal plea where he says, look, we've known each other a long time. If we do this, we'll be the ones that are traitors, not her. And so you have to get all these points of view across, and people still do what they do, but the idea that Ahsoka and Rex to a degree can be selfless and that they can still go and honor these people who are friends with them, even though they're trying to kill them. You've got to reach a point of do they forgive them? I think on some level they do. It doesn't justify their actions. They wish it was otherwise. Rex is torn up. He knows what's going on. He's trying to be direct with Ahsoka when he says, they don't really care. They're going to kill us. But she's like, that can't change. And you see that he's really torn because he doesn't want to do it. So it's very complex issues by the end of it because it is a tragic situation and the heroes do largely lose. But the one thing that they can't lose is their integrity and their morality and who they both were. And that needs to survive and stay intact because then there is actually a possible future. If they've compromised themselves and proved to be no better, then they've really lost. It's tough stuff, but it's all these things that, we were taught in the show and George believed I think were important.
Yeah, you made me think a lot about how many times Rex has cried under his helmet and we didn't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think it makes him a more dimensional character.
Yeah, absolutely.
To understand that, he's a pretty...
They're his brothers.
Yeah, exactly. I think it relates to how it's also respecting, I think, how the audience feels about those characters too. And they have a deep relationship with them. So I get that. As a fan, I understand that. So I want to make sure that we do right by them too.